We are taking back. We already liberated near 100 square miles of our territory. Definitely, we want to liberate much. We need to liberate much bigger territories of our country. But for this, we need more weaponry. That's why this clustering and more ammunition. That's why it's very important use for us.
In terms of the types of weaponry that Ukraine has asked its allies to provide it, was cluster munitions part of that package that it really wanted?
Yes, absolutely. First of all, Ukraine and the United States are not signatories of this convention. So for us, we have all juridical grounds to use this kind of ammunition. Secondly, Russia is extensively using such ammunition against Ukraine. Me personally, I was during this invasion several times under cluster bomb, cluster ammunition shelling from Russian side. So we have all moral right to use it too because they're using it against us. So when I'm hearing that some human rights, as you said, organizations are against, it's very strange for me because these human rights organizations should care about human rights of the Ukrainian people on the occupied territories, which are under genocide, which are raped, killed, tortured by Russians. And in order to save their lives, we need to liberate our territories as soon as possible, and cluster munition can be a very strong advantage for us to do this.
And will they make a difference on the battlefield?
Yes, I'm not a military person, but our military is saying that yes, they will make a difference. And also, the question is that we are short in ammunitions today, and Russia, like last year, Russia used 10 million shells against Ukraine. We responded with a little bit more than 1 million. So, with such ratio, it's very hard. So what is also important is that United States of America, they have a lot of this cluster ammunition, which they're not gonna use and which they were preparing to utilize. So it's much better for us to utilize them over Russian aggressors.
And in terms of the way in which they'd be deployed, um, presumably not all against necessarily people, but also, for example, minefields. They're quite effective in that way, aren't they, in terms of clearing land because of the way in which they can clear
Yes,
minefields?
that's that's one of the ways and like how this cluster ammunition can be used exactly.
In terms of the way in which that we called it over here the spring offensive, but it really started in the early summer. In terms of the way in which the war is going, the picture is very mixed to us in the West. Do you believe that Ukrainian forces are beginning to take back more of the country?
We are taking back. We already liberated near 100 square miles of our territory. Definitely, we want to liberate much. We need to liberate much bigger territories of our country. But for this, we need more weaponry. That's why this clustering and more ammunition. That's why it's very important use for us.
And what is next? I know there was a package that you had requested from your allies, including the United Kingdom, including the United States. What else is it that you are asking your allies to provide you?
First of all, I would like to thank United Kingdom for all support we are receiving in many, many areas. The UK showed leadership. The UK was the first to make a decision on modern battle tanks. The UK was the first to make decision on the long-range missiles. That's a Storm Shadow, and that's what we really are in very big need of. This is the long-range missiles, and what is in the package is ATACMS, which is U.S. Long-range missiles for HIMARS launchers. And why it's so important? Because not like the jets, F-16s, which will take months to train pilots, to prepare infrastructure, to train crew, and so on and so on. We can use ATACMS long-range missiles to HIMARSs just immediately because we have launchers, we have trained people. So the only thing we are lacking the attack missiles themselves. So that's why it's so important. and we are so eager to receive it.